Hi, I'm James the Box Office Artist, and welcome back to Inktober Day 7. This is Day 7, and today I am drawing Xmen Apocalypse. I'm drawing Apocalypse from Xmen. This is actually commissioned for my buddy Snow, who wanted me to draw this, so it's going to be a lot of fun to do. But, so first of all, it's going to be an ink drawing, so it will be part of Inktober, but it is also Q&A Saturday. So, but this is going to be airing on Sunday. So it's Q&A Saturday on Sunday. So I'm going to try something a little bit different here. So I'm going to be drawing while going over your comments through the past week. So I don't know how this is going to go. This video can go extremely long or extremely short. So I'm just going to be answering just the more in-depth questions, and you're going to see what part of the drawing I'm at while I'm answering those in-depth questions. And I will answer every single comment, but again, that whole full-length video, which means the whole full-length drawing, you will see on my second channel, youtube.com/JamesRays. This is going to be a lot of fun, so why don't we get started right now? What how to draw books would you recommend? That's a great question. Okay, so let's get started with that. How to draw books that I recommend. Me personally, there are a few books that I got when I was younger. Some were like a lot of them were trying to get into comics, that type of thing. So things like How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way, which I still think holds up today. If you were to get that book, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way by Stan Lee, I learned a lot from that particular book. I guess all the books that I can recommend. Okay, so I'm going in general here because I never got a book that said, like, for example, you gotta, this is how to draw. Because for the most part, I pretty much learned a lot of how to draw from drawing classes and all that, not necessarily from a book itself, but books that really helped me out. That was one of them. Understanding Comics by Scott McCloud. I think if you're trying to get into comics itself, that's a fantastic book to get if you want to understand comics and the actual craft of understanding comics. That is like one of the main books to get for sure. Comics and Sequential Art. That is another one if you are interested in learning any of that stuff. And again, these are more comic-centric based type books, so those are really fun ones to get. One that I really loved when I was younger was Burton Hogarth. Burton Hogarth has a whole bunch of different books, different series. One of my favorites was Dynamic Figure Drawing. Dynamic Figure Drawing is an amazing book by Burton Hogarth. Again, I never got many how to draw books, but that definitely is one of my favorites. Just trying to figure out how this arm is going here. So check those out. Like off the top of my head, I would say that those are pretty good ones to get. But one great one to get, and we're going to talk about more of this in depth, is my buddy David Ross. David Ross, he's an artist. He was a great artist for Marvel, did Alpha Flight, Wolverine, all that stuff. He has a great book out right now. He's also he also teaches with me at Maximut School for Comics, Animation, and Design here in Toronto. He's a professor here, and he came out with a wonderful book. His book is called Freehand Figure Drawing for Illustrators, Mastering the Art of Drawing from Memory. It is a fantastic book. It goes through pretty much everything, and he's a good friend of mine. And one thing I love about Dave is he genuinely cares about students, and he cares about your art career, as do I, for sure. So that's definitely a book to check out. You can get it on Amazon right now. So I will plug my buddy Dave's book. We actually did an interview with him at Fan Expo, and I'm going to be showing you guys that interview probably next month, once all this Inktober stuff is done. I think he will be the second interview I show from Fan Expo, so look out for that. That is going to be a lot of fun. So check out that book, my buddy Dave. That, if there's a book I'm going to recommend that one. Freehand Figure Drawing for Illustrators, Mastering the Art of Drawing from Memory by David H. Ross. Check that out right now. Okay, so thank you for your question. Mr. Essa says, hi, quick question. How old were you when you started drawing, and what inspired you to become a professional artist? By the way, love your Star Wars art. I've been drawing, like, whenever if anyone wants an actual number of when I started drawing, I'm not too sure. I honestly don't remember when I actually started drawing, because as far as I'm concerned, I've been drawing forever. Okay, so I don't know when I've actually been starting drawing. When I was a little kid. Now I wasn't a hardcore comic fan when I was a kid. I didn't really get into comic books until I got to high school. That was when I started really getting into comics. But in terms of when I started to draw, I would say it was like pretty young. Always drawing cartoons. I love cartoons. I love Super Friends. You know, so it was a lot of fun for me to draw, and you know, it was just something I was naturally good at. You know, and again, I don't know if that was just because I kept drawing when I was a kid, or if there is such a thing as natural talent. So I was just pretty good at it. So I you know, it's one of those things I kept going with it. For sure. Yeah, it wasn't, again, and I told this story before, it wasn't until like my last year of high school that I decided to actually pursue this as a career. But I've always been drawing, like even in high school, I was drawing comics because it was fun. Not because I wanted to be this famous comic book artist or anything. It was more because I wanted to be, you know, I just enjoyed doing it more than anything else. And it wasn't until my last year of high school, that's when I decided I was really going to go for it. I think maybe like in the back of my mind when I was younger, I was like, oh man, it would be great to be an artist for a living. But I knew, like, to me, it wasn't like, it didn't feel practical, you know? I'm like, yeah, I'd like to be an artist, but you know, rather be a doctor, for sure, gonna make a lot of money being a doctor, all that stuff. So for me, that's how I approached it, you know, that's how I thought about it. But it wasn't until that last year of high school. I don't know if it was because of laziness, because I didn't want to take those OECs. We had something called OECs back at that time. Those were university level courses that you had to take in high school back at that time. But that was the path that I went on. So Tobias C says, how did I find my own style? I'm not sure if, well, like even now, I don't know if you could 100% say that this is my style. I'm not sure if it's that level. Maybe you guys could tell me if it is. Because, you know, it's like you see J. Scott Campbell's work, you're like, yeah, that's J. Scott Campbell's work. You see Jim Lee's work, you're like, yep, that's Jim Lee. See Dave Finch, Stephen Platt. You could tell right away that that's that work. So I don't know if my work is at that level where it's that recognizable yet, where it's that level. Like, that's not even something I'm conscious of right now. It's more, I like to draw like this, so this is how I'm going to draw type thing, you know? Maybe when it comes to my robots, like I draw robots differently than everyone else, so I'm pretty sure that you could figure out how I draw. When you see robot drawing for the trained artistic guy, you could tell it's my drawing, the way I draw robots, because not a lot of people draw those robots in that way. So I guess in a sense you could say that those have a definite style to them, but you know, again, my main influences like David Finch, Stephen Platt, Alex Ross, Travis Charest, like all those type of guys. You know, that type of influence. You know, I try to incorporate, you know, some of their theories within my art. At the end of the day, so and I like drawing it that way. So it wasn't a conscious thing like I'm gonna draw like this and totally, you know, my voice is now unique type thing. I still today think that my voice isn't like 100% unique. I think a lot of people draw like me, so it's I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure. Like, so it's like more for me, it's something I'm not conscious of. I draw the way I like to draw at the end of the day. So, and if people find that recognizable, if people think that, hey, that they can look at a picture and like, hey, that's a James Ray's piece, then yeah, by all, you know, fantastic, you know. But again, it's not something I'm conscious of. So, did your parents, Mick McEwen asked, did your parents ever do art, or were you inspired by any of your parents to do art as a job? Okay, so, any of my parents do art? No. My mom was a hairdresser, so I guess out of my parents, she would be the most creative, I would say, out of my parents. But no, they would not. Both of them don't draw at all, unless my dad's been hiding stuff from me. Now, my uncle, though, my uncle on my mom's side, he did draw. I remember him, like, when I was younger, he drew this, because he came to Canada, he was pretty young, he was still a teenager, and I remember he drew this, this hand, kind of one like this. He drew this hand, so that people wouldn't come in the room. I forgot what he actually wrote on the side, but on the Bristol board he drew a hand. So and he liked to sing too. He liked to sing. So if anyone I got my creativity from, or someone that I actually knew had that type of creativity, it would be actually my Uncle Pat. My Uncle Pat had that type of creativity. So I would assume that if it was genetic, where I got my artistic talent from, I believe it was from my mom's side, though again, I never seen my dad draw or anyone from his side draw, so maybe there was some artistic talent on that side too, but I guess I don't know. So thank you for your question. What was your favorite job in comics? Sorry if you have already answered this question. Well, in comic books itself, let's talk, like, here's the deal. Like, you have companies that you like that kind of answer, it varies, because you have companies that you like working for. You like working there because of the actual company itself, and then you like working on the actual project. Like, actual companies, you can't be Marvel and DC. They're #1 for a reason. There's a reason why people like working with them. They paid on time. They were, they helped me out a lot when it came to my, my output, especially me at that time starting out. Actual projects I liked working on. Let me think here. I liked working on Hulk. I really, really loved working on Hulk. I had a great time. That was when I was at my creative peak, I think, actually working on the Hulk. In terms of, let's see here. Birds of Prey was fun too. When I was doing Birds of Prey for DC, my last job before I went back to school, that was a lot of fun. Mike Carlin was my editor there. He was a wonderful, wonderful guy back then. But even, even the Dreamwave days, that was a lot of fun. Just because we were all young, all of us were young, around the same age, early 20s, and just the environment going there and being friends with everybody, it was a fun place to work. Financial problems aside, it was a fun place to work and actually go to a place and be with friends. So, even though we were extremely late with the books, but it was just fun being with a bunch of guys, who were buddies. So now in terms of film, though, so let's segue into film. The best place, I think, in terms of work stress, I think the best place I worked at was a place called Method Studios. There I worked on a film called Invictus, and they overhired. They had a habit of overhiring, so I never did any overtime over there. Never. And then usually, well, at least in my department anyway, I would say around 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, it was a ghost town in there. Everyone left at 5:30. They were done. We were done. So they hired enough people where the environment was extremely relaxed. So that was really, really fun to work there at Method Studios. They're called Method Studios. Back then it was called, what were they called? CIS Vancouver back then, but now it's Method Studios. However, in terms of work environment, I would say my last job, Pixamundo, mainly because I made a lot of friends at Pixamundo, and they made it a lot of fun to work there. So, yeah, as you can tell, it's not the project. It's definitely not the project that I enjoy work. It's because at the end of the day, the project's a project, and a lot of them kind of blend together. It's more the actual working environment that I enjoyed more than the actual project. So, thank you for your question. That was a fun question to answer. Okay, the drawing while singing challenge. Okay, the drawing while singing challenge. Now, this was a fun one because I always wanted to do this challenge. and a lot of you have actually asked me to do this challenge. DN King says, I'm pretty sure Jazza did not challenge you, but Matt, keep on singing. I mean, try. DN King. He actually did put in his video, and he said, and originally I did have this part of the video clip in in my video. He actually said, this is really tough. If you think you could do better, please, I want to hear it. Please do tweet me. And he put his Twitter on, and I would love to see your video. So I actually did put that video clip in, but then when I was looking at it, it sounds like I think I could do better than Jazza. Which I know I didn't do better than Jazza, so I didn't want it to make it look like I'm challenging him and thinking I actually did better than him. Because no, I wanted to make it look like, you know, I'm just trying the challenge. And at the end of the day, because Jazza is a trained professional singer, right? How can you do better than the guy? He actually is a professional singer. He actually knows how to sing. I'm just a novice. I like singing. It's a lot of fun. But I would not call myself professional by any means. Jazza's the professional. So I didn't want it to make it look like I was challenging him in that way, that thinking, oh, my singing video is better. So I didn't want to do that. So for you guys, just to know, and I'm not drawing while I'm saying this, just to let you know, I was in no way trying to say that my video was better than Jazza. Absolutely not. There's a reason why he sang 4 songs and I only did 1. Because Jazza is an amazing singer, and by the way, to my buddy Jazza, if you're watching this, you did an amazing job at VidCon. And nobody could have done what you did at VidCon. So hold your head up high, buddy. You did a fantastic job. By the way, guys, go check out his VidCon video where he actually attempted to do a one-man band while drawing. I could never do something like that. So good on you, Jazza, and congratulations. That was an amazing performance. Hold your head up high, buddy. That was amazing. So, okay, guys, so just to clarify that. All right, let's go. My art teacher in high school always said it was harder to paint draw while you're talking singing because it makes both sides of the brain counteract each other, so more challenge than people believed it to be. That's why it's hard for me to actually draw this commission. There you go. Okay, so those are the few questions I answered. As you can tell, I only got up to here, so I can't let Inktober go by without actually finishing my Xmen Apocalypse piece, so why don't we watch me actually finish this piece right now. And there you have it. That is my Xmen Apocalypse from Xmen piece. And I hope my buddy enjoys the commission. I hope you like Buddy. This was a lot of fun to do. And thank you to those whose questions I answered. Now, I did answer all of the comments from last week. And that video long, okay? That video be long, okay? So go check out that video. If you want to sit through it, go check out that video on my second channel, youtube.com/JamesRays, and you'll actually see me go through the entire drawing process of this Xmen Apocalypse here. So I hope you all enjoyed that. Thank you for watching. Hey, if you're new to my channel, you like what you see here, you're enjoying Inktober, and if you like what you see, if you wouldn't mind hitting that subscribe button, I will be your friend for life. Please continue following me on all social media, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, @BoxOfficeArtist, Facebook.com/TheBoxOfficeArtist, Twitch.tv/BoxOfficeArtist, and my name is James. I am the Box Office Artist. Check out my vlog channel, YouTube.com/JamesRays, and my name is James. I'm the Box Office Artist. I'm here to say keep drawing, and I'll see you all for Inktober tomorrow.